Alright, Shalom, all praises to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahushua, Bahashem, Rakakwadash. Double honors to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone. Salutations to all the brothers and the few sisters out there. Unto this life foreigners from the seed of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, Shalom in the Hebrew, which means peace. Gonna be a quick show through the spirit of Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahushua, Lord, you brothers be edified. The title says for itself, but he goes in, man. And the world knows who's Babylon the Great. The world knows straight up and down who is the beast, or who is the whore that sits upon the beast. All right, the world recognize America as that evil empire. Now, the whole thing is great actually. But I'm just gonna there's a couple key points that he said, and I'm gonna hit it from there. So let's go.
Overcome the Great Depression and become the largest economy with World War I, going to look for constructive ways out of the global food and energy crisis, that they, bribery, intimidation, and convince themselves that these methods would work forever, as if they had fossilized in the past. Such self-confidence is a direct product not only of the notorious concept of exceptionalism, although it never ceases to amaze, but also the real information hunger in the West. The truth has been drowned in an ocean of myths, illusions, and fakes, using extremely aggressive propaganda, lying like gobbles. The more unbelievable the lie, the quicker people will believe it. That is how they operate, according to this principle. I want to make special note of the fact that there is every reason to believe that the Western elites are not going to look for constructive ways out of the global food and energy crisis, that they and they alone are to blame for. As a result of...
He said they and they alone are to blame for. So the jig is up. The world knows. The world knows who's really causing the chaos in the world. And he was explaining it. He was explaining everything, you know. Like they have the world confused. How is it for the past, let's say 2 decades, America has been ransacking and colonizing more countries than anything, causing war and making bullshit as it goes. But as soon as Russia gets involved in something, oh, they're the bad guys. Here they are, you know. And that's just the surface level type of thing that has being said. All right, but let him say
their long-term policy, dating back long before our special military operation in Ukraine, in Donbass. They have no intention of solving the problems of injustice and inequality. I am afraid they would rather use...
He said before Donbass and Ukraine, they've been ransacking, destroying lives and so forth, but now they want to point the finger how bad Russia is. And all this things that's coming out about America, and here it is, the citizens of America so stupid, thinking some odd reason this is the greatest place in the world. That's impossible. All right, but let's go.
Other formulas they are more comfortable with. And here it is important to recall that the West bailed itself out of its early 20th century challenges with World War I. Profits from World War II helped the United States finally overcome the Great Depression and become the largest economy in the world, and to impose on the planet the power of the dollar as a global reserve currency. In the 1980s crisis, things came to a head in the 1980s again. The West emerged from it largely unscathed by appropriating the inheritance and resources of the collapsed and defunct Soviet Union. That's a fact.
So what did they inherit? He's gonna explain it. Yeah, man, it's on, bro. It's on. The world sees who you really are. The jig is up, and he even said it too. This is 15 minutes of just fire. All right, just straight fire. All right.
Now, in order to free itself from the latest web of challenges, they need to dismantle Russia as well as other states that choose a sovereign path of development at all costs, to be able to further plunder other nations' wealth and use it to patch their own holes. If this does not happen, I cannot rule out that they will try to trigger a collapse of the entire system and blame everything on that, or God forbid, decide to use the old formula of economic growth through war. Russia is aware of its responsibility to the international community and will make every effort to ensure that cooler heads prevail. The current neo-colonial model is ultimately doomed. This much is obvious. But I repeat that its real masters will cling to it to the end. They simply have nothing to offer the world except to maintain the same system of plundering and racketeering. They do not.
The same system of plundering and racketeering. Let me get a couple scriptures real quick. I'm going to come back to this. Same system of plundering and racketeering. Wow. That matter of fact, let me start with here. Habakkuk 2:16. Thou art filled with shame for glory. And is now America filled with shame? All right. They try to pass their shame, like you know, in the old cartoon days when somebody cleans up the house, there's a rug and they'll throw all the dirt under the rug, and then everything else will be clean, but it's still dirty because there's dirt under the rug. And that's what America does. It throws dirt under the rug, all as shameful thing that how it was established, how it continuously keeps in power. They throw that under the rug so that everybody will believe all the great things that they done, which they never did any great things. Okay? They never did. America's just a fraudulent system, a worldwide web of lies, man. That's its glory. Okay? And who's at the helm of all this? The helm meaning on top, the peak of it, the elites. All right? It says, drink thou also, and let thy foreskin be uncovered. The cup of the Lord's right hand shall be turned unto thee, and that shameful spewing shall be on thy glory. That's why, matter of fact, before I go on, let me let this thing finish because he said something.
Not give a damn about the natural right of billions of people, the majority of humanity, to freedom and justice, and the right to determine their own future. They have already moved on to the radical denial of moral, religious, and family values. Let's answer some very simple questions.
Here it is. So, this takes the icing on the cake. Yeah, we could talk about how the U.S. counterlies certain things and disguise it and so forth. We could talk about all these things. But hear what he says. And you got to be a dumbass not to see how clear this is. The truth is out. The truth is out there, man. And now we see why the Lord put this state called Russia, Gog Magog, in that prominent position, because the world will listen to them more than will listen to the Western or any other nation, because they're equal to America and then some. All right, but listen to what he says.
For ourselves. Now I would like to return to what I said and want to address all citizens of the country. Not just the colleagues that are here in the hall, but all citizens of Russia. Do we want to have here in our country, in Russia, parent number 1, parent number 2, and parent number 3? They have completely lost it. Instead of mother and father. Do we want our schools to impose on our children, from their earliest days in school, perversions that lead to degradation and extinction? Do we want to drum in their heads that certain other genders exist along with women and men, and to offer them gender reassignment surgery? Is that what we want for our country and our children? This is unacceptable to us. We have a different future of our own. The world has entered a...
And it says, what it says? It says, Putin, we have to save our children from experiments that harm their souls. Boy, man. America is looking horrible. Horrible. Within the states, outside of it is looking horrible, and the world sees it. Your shameful spew as glory, man. This is some shameful shit. Okay, the world sees it. Now let's continue. There's more.
Period of fundamental revolutionary transformation. New centers of power are emerging. They represent the majority of the international community. They are ready not only to declare their interests, but also to protect them. They see in multipolarity an opportunity to strengthen their sovereignty, which means gaining genuine freedom, historical prospects, and the right to their own independent, creative, and distinctive forms of development in a harmonious process. As I've already said, we have many like-minded people in Europe and the United States, and we feel and see their support. An essentially emancipatory, anti-colonial movement against unipolar hegemony is taking shape in the most diverse countries and societies. Its power will only grow with time. It is this force that will determine our future geopolitical reality.
Boy, oh boy. And I think he had, well, I passed it, and he had mentioned
Example, the period of colonial conquests. It is worth reminding the West that it began its colonial policy back in the Middle Ages, followed by the worldwide slave trade, the genocide of Indian tribes in America, the plunder of India and Africa, the wars of England and France against China, as a result of which it was forced to open its ports to the opium trade. What they did was get entire nations hooked on drugs and purposefully exterminated entire ethnic groups for the sake of grabbing land and resources, hunting people like animals. This is contrary to human nature, truth, freedom, and justice. While we are proud that in the 20th century, our country led the anti-colonial movement, which opened up opportunities.
which they are Edomites as well. It doesn't really matter, but we clearly could see what's going on. I'm gonna read again. Habakkuk 2:16. Thou art filled with shame. How was America established? It was established by shame, shameful deeds. All right, which in reality, what they did is what they were supposed to do. However, they took it to the next level, and they took that dirt, they put it under the rug like it never happened, and they try to rewrite history. So now the reminder is coming from your adversary. Like, look, this is what you all truly about. Okay, it says, drink thou also, and let thy foreskin be uncovered. The cup of the Lord's right hand shall be turned unto thee. Matter of fact, since I read that real quick, Psalms. I'm sorry. Psalm 75:8 says, for in the hand of the Lord there is a cup, and the wine is red, and is full of mixture, and poureth out of the same, but the dregs thereof, all the wicked of the earth shall wring them out and drink them. That cup is talking about the cup of slavery. All right, America was established, and the foundation of it was on slavery. It was built on blood. Okay, America was built on blood. And that's the constant reminder. You could sugarcoat it, you could try to change everything, rewrite history. Those are the facts. That's why everybody always bring it out. They try their best to hide it. It says on Numbers 35:33, so ye shall not pollute the land therein where ye are, for blood defileth the land, and the land cannot be cleansed of the blood that is shed therein, but by the blood of him that shed it. America was established on the bloodshed of the Native Americans, which are Gad, Reuben, all right, the Issachar, you name it, the America, everywhere. The blood that was shed was whose blood? Israelite blood. All right, Israelites' blood that was being shed. Matter of fact, Revelations, I believe it's, oh yes, 18, Revelations 18 and I'm gonna get to the point. Well, matter of fact, I'll start at 20 to the point. Rejoice over her, thou heaven, and ye holy apostles and prophets, for the Most High have avenged you and her. And who's the her? Talking about America, Babylon the Great. And a mighty angel took up a stone like a great millstone, and cast it into the sea, saying, thus with violence shall that great city Babylon be thrown down, and shall not be found no more. So America was established on violence, and is going to end by the most horrific violent act in human history. All right, the Lord is going to burn this place with fire, concentrated fire. All right, and it says, and the voice of the harpers and the musicians and the pipers and the trumpets shall be heard no more at all indeed, and no craftsman of whatsoever craft he shall be found any more, and the sound of the millstone shall be heard no more till all indeed at all indeed, and the light of a candle shall not shine no more at all indeed, and the voice of the bridegroom and the bride shall be no more at all indeed, for thy merchants were the great men of the earth, for by thy sorceries were all the nations deceived. And that's the key word, sorceries, because what? Matter of fact, let's look it up. Pharmaketo, the use of administration drug, which is heavily promoted over here. What did Putin mention? How they went to war with China. All right, mainly the British went war with China to put poison. He just make mention. He's giving you a brief history of the West. Okay. Sorcery, magic, arts often found in connection with idolatry and fosterized by it. So what's another form of witchcraft or sorcery that he just make mention of? 3 parents, different genders. That's sorcery. All right. Metaphorically, deception and seduction of idolatry. So we get the point. This place is full of witchcraft. And verse 24, and it says, in her was found the blood of the prophets and of the saints and all that were slain upon the earth. So upon this place is found the prophets and the blood of the saints. Who are the saints of the Most High? Israel. All right. Israelites, you Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans. This place was built upon your blood. All right. While you sitting there believing that this place is the greatest place in the world, you dumb idiots. This place, not only did it shed your forefathers' blood, it sheds your blood to this very day. You at war. You don't even know. All right. But this place will be destroyed by thermonuclear destruction for all the evil acts that it did. I had another precept, but I'm just going to end it on that, proving that America's shame is being seen throughout the whole 4 corners of the earth. All right. And who else isn't going to hear the voice of another great power like Russia? Everybody. All right. Despite what the West says, the rest of the world is listening to what Russia's saying. And guess what? They all clapping. That's what, matter of fact, let me end it off on this. Because the Lord is stirring up all these armies against you. And there's nothing American can do about it. Jeremiah 50, I believe it's 8. No, 9. It says, for lo, I will raise and cause to come up against Babylon an assembly of great nations. Just look up the word assembly. Hebrew word is qa'al, assembly, company, congregation, a convocation, assembly for evil counsel, war of invasion. All right. So the other great powers are coming up together to form an invasion of war, a council of evil against this place. That's the precept comes to mind, Ezekiel 38th chapter. And that evil thought came into their mind. All right. It says company of returning exile, congregation as an organized body, which is what you call called BRICS. Okay? You got BRICS, and there's another terminology that they have. Everybody's trying to join. Okay? So you have an organized body of different great nations coming together to come against America. Beautiful. All right? NATO and the EU have no chance, and that's what the scripture says. What it says, all right? And the beast shall hate the whore and burn him with flames. It says, great nations from the north country, which is what? Russia. Russia's in the north country. Okay? And they shall set themselves array against her. For thence shall she be taken. The arrows shall be as of a mighty expert man. None shall return in vain. So none of these missiles are going to go in vain. They all going to hit their particular target. The greatest destruction in human history is going to take place in the near future. And who's going to cap it all off? It ain't going to be Russia and China and NATO. Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahushua is going to make sure this place is done. So with that being said, shalom to the elect of the nations. Shalom.